Billy Carson. Billy, in more recent years there has been a growing interest in regards to planet Mars. Could there have once been an ancient civilization that occupied this planet? And if so, what evidence is there to support this?
A lot of great questions here. Mars is an amazing place. And I'm going to talk a lot about it actually tonight at 7 p.m., so you don't want to miss this talk, because I'm going to show you some anomalies on Mars and the links that it has to Earth and other civilizations. But Mars used to be a habitable moon of Tiamat, which I'll talk about tonight. And one side of Mars is completely charred, and the other side is extremely smooth. The side that's charred was the side that actually was impacted by the explosion of this planet named Tiamat, which now is the asteroid belt. And then Mars was slung into this very strange elliptical orbit around the sun, and it became a planet. But Mars originally was a habitable moon. And what's interesting about it, we've sent a lot of missions to Mars. If you look at all of the space agencies that have sent missions to Mars, you'll find that literally trillions of dollars have been spent to send remote-controlled cars to a cold, dry rock, right? Well, tonight I'm going to show you evidence in my lecture that Mars is not a cold, dry rock, that there is atmosphere, that there is oxygen, that there is a magnetic field, that there is bow shock bending, the solar wind around the planet. I'm going to show you all the science data that we've collected on Mars, showing you that the planet was extremely habitable, and right now, today, currently, is habitable in a limited basis. Also, I'm going to show you, talk tonight about the pole shift that occurred on Mars. When it took that impact, the crust of the actual planet itself shifted about 45 degrees, creating a pole shift, which created a global flood on Mars, which is why a lot of the anomalies that we have discovered appear to be washed over by mud. And I'm going to show you a lot of anomalies taken from several different rovers: Opportunity, Spirit, Perseverance, Curiosity rover. It's going to be an amazing talk tonight. You don't want to miss it. Mars, in my opinion, is directly linked to the ancient Atlantean culture that was on Earth. And I'm going to provide my evidence for that tonight, showing that Atlantis was not just a ring city in the middle of the Atlantic, but that Atlantis was not only a global civilization on Earth, but it was also an interplanetary civilization, and that I believe that similar anomalies, or things that are anomalies that we've discovered, look extremely similar to some of the ancient structures, the megalithic structures left behind here on Earth. Everything from ankhs, which I'll show you, that have been left behind here on Earth, to ankhs that we can see on planet Mars from the rover data, pyramids, and many, many other anomalies that we can show you that will leave you scratching your head, like what is really going on up there? And some things that don't look too old, which really makes you want to scratch your head and go, what is going on Mars? In my personal opinion, I think that Mars is probably a location of a breakaway civilization. It makes total logical sense, especially when you're spending trillions of dollars over the several decades to go visit this place. And the reason why there's a lot of billionaires going to Mars is because I personally believe, this is my personal opinion, that there's an infrastructure that is already being worked out and built up there. When you talk about Elon Musk and Branson and all these other billionaires that are looking to go to Mars on a one-way trip and not come back, and taking people with them. If you're on Earth, with the creature comforts of Earth, you're a billionaire, you've got all the money you need, you can go on all the vacations, you can go on yachts and airplanes, you can see this beautiful planet, you've got butlers and maids and servants, everything is first class. You don't necessarily want to get on an airplane or a space plane, go to another planet that's just a cold, dry rock, and live in a tin can and a spacesuit for the rest of your life till you die. It doesn't make logical sense, at least not to me. And so if I'm going to go to Mars, that means I'm already knowing that there's possibly an infrastructure established, whether it's below ground or above ground. We know that you can 3D print 10 to 12 houses in a day. A Japanese architect is already doing that right now in Japan. They 3D print houses using existing regolith and soil right from the current landscape and turn it into a house in a day. They can do a dozen houses in a day. Could that same technology be used on Mars? I think so. So I'm going to talk a lot about that tonight, show you guys a lot of anomalies that you're going to see. Actually, they resemble ancient things here on Earth, but also some things that don't look so ancient. And do we know exactly what they are? No, we don't. But I can tell you that there has been xenon discovered in the science data coming back from Mars, weapons-grade xenon. And so xenon is a byproduct of nuclear war, nuclear explosions. And so when you have xenon in the soil and in the atmosphere, in those levels, it tells us Mars truly was the god of war.